Hey, what's up? This is Chosen. Happy Friday to you. This is going to be a Raid Shadow Legends video going over the news in game. We've got the Summon Rush that we can actually see. We have got the Clover event for St. Patrick's Day that we can actually see. Have some crazy rewards in there. And we will talk about the points required for the Summon Rush and the most efficient route to go and compare it to maybe ones that we've seen in the past and get you full context in the game as we head into the weekend so that you can play as efficiently as possible. Well, let's get into it. Alrighty, so first off out the gate, we are not going to be getting any sort of 2x or guaranteed summon event or anything like that going on this weekend, but we do have a 10x going on for the more normal structure of the 4 epics and the 4 legendaries. They're going to be having the epics be Seer, Deacon, Dithy, and a Seeker, and then the legendaries are going to be Supreme, Aethel, Mashaled, Kyoku, and Samson. And I talked about this yesterday, but, you know, it's a little bit disappointing that they went this route with acquiring Supreme Aethel. This is going to be the second legendary that they are, or the second legendary of the Supreme Champions that they are giving us a path to acquiring in certain events. And we knew this was going to happen because they talked about in a news post a bonus if you're able to acquire all 4 of the Void versions of the starting champions and the Supreme versions of them. And unfortunately, the Supreme Aethel one here is going to be a normal 10x. Now, it's a 10x and it's for voids, so it is a little bit better, a little bit more impactful than non-voids, but you're still only going to be at like maybe a 10 to 15% chance per legendary, I think. I'd have to plug in the math to figure out exactly. It's like 7% per legendary to get a 10x in a non-void. So for a void, it'd be, you know, maybe like 15, 16%, something like that per legendary that you summon to get the actual Supreme Aethel to proc of the 10x. So anyway, a little bit disappointing. I said yesterday, and it seemed to go over pretty well in the comment section that I think the better route to go would have been to have a bonus legendary event during this weekend and then have Supreme Aethel be the bonus legendary. So as long as you pull 1 legendary, you get Supreme Aethel as a bonus because there's no 2x or anything going on. So I think acquiring a legendary would have been a pretty lofty goal, and I think it would have been pretty nice to get Supreme Aethel as a bonus there. And it's not like she's going to be, you know, some Platinum Arena PvP meta champion or anything. So I feel like that event would have been fine and gone over pretty well, but alas, we're just getting a normal 10x. But I will say, and I said this in yesterday's video as well, so just really quickly, if you are a early to mid game account and you don't have a Seer yet, going to be a really good opportunity to get a Seer because she is definitely a staple champion that everybody wants on their account for sure. And we can also finally see, this is probably the most important thing to see for the Supreme Elhain fragment events. We can see the Summon Rush in-game and react to this. Now, we need to come up with a term for this, so help me out maybe down below. We got to come up with a term for Plarium inflation, like Plariflation, or, you know, we need something like that because a little bit unfortunate here that it's going to be 2250 for the 5 fragments, which I can handle, but then it's 4300 to get the full 20. And if we compare this to champions that we've seen in the past, like this is for Gaius the Gleeful, and you can see that it was 1750 to get the 5 and then 3500 to get the next 15. So we've seen this number kind of shift around a little bit, and for Supreme Elhain, it is going to be 4300. Which is pretty steep when you consider that void shards are only worth 120. So if we take 4,300 divided by 120, we get 35 voids that you would need to pull to get those full 4,300 points. But for some of you, you may not need to do that if you did well last weekend during the champion chase and the 2x madness weekend that we had for all 3 shards. And that is going to kind of be based on where you're at on your account specifically. But for the rest of the for the events, you've got the 5 right here, you've got 10, and then you've got 15. And I'm gonna, you know, kind of count like the guaranteed type of stuff. So then you've got 20, and then you've got 25 right here, 30. And then the champion of training to end things will be 40 after all is said and done if you completely skip the Summon Rush. So keep all of that in mind when you're trying to kind of plan this out based on how you've done in tournaments and what you've done kind of so far and all these different things in the Supreme Elhain fragments if you are going for her. But then we've also got the Path of the Clover St. Patrick's Day type of event. You know, usually we've gotten a fusion champion like Shamrock or Killian the Lucky and all of that. But this year, obviously, because they have the Supreme Elhain things going on already, we are going to be getting a different type of Heroes Path event where they've got a currency that you can earn, and then you're going to spend that currency on things to acquire here. And you know, they've got some interesting stuff down here on the bottom. I would prioritize probably the big stone and the 200 soul coins right here on this row, and then in the bottom row, obviously you'd love to get the eternal soul stone there. And it's interesting to see that Plarium values a legendary book more than a void shard. I know in the shop, yeah, I guess that tends to be the case there, based on the prices that we see. One book is usually, you know, $350, and a void shard's usually like, you know, $250 or $3. So yeah, legendary books slightly above one void shard there. So yeah, I mean, there is some decent stuff up for grabs here, but it is going to be decently difficult to get the tokens. You've got to be leveling up and ranking up champions while also getting artifacts. So the campaign would obviously be a big source of event coins in this event. And unfortunately, the Path of the Clover is really only live, you know, from like the 17th until like the 20th or 21st, kind of in this area right here. And we don't get like a champion training event or anything for Supreme Elhain. It's gonna be way over here that we end the. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to do like champion training for the Path of the Clover, and then also turn right around after that and do champion training for Supreme Elhain. And there's 10 fragments, not even just 5, to round out that one. So a little bit rough, and you're gonna have to kind of weigh your options based on your account, on what you kind of want to chase based on that landscape. And then we can head into the shop and see if there's anything worth talking about here. 16 for 25. Yeah, not the best string pack there. The Clover pack. So are these coming down in price at all? 5 for 3. And then, oh, wait a minute. This one might be worth talking about. This could be a special kind of pack here. So let's fire up the calculator, and you've got 25 for the price, and you've got 5 ancient shards, looks like, and then you've got 3 voids, and they stopped giving us silver to pull the shards here, so we don't get any silver in this one. But one there grades out as a 1.34 on tier 1 of the string pack, which is honestly a pretty good start. So this is probably gonna be a decent. And then it ends right here. Am I gonna have to buy this even here at my spending tier? Let me see. So it ends at 500, and the last one costs 15. You get 500. You get 5 ancients, and then you got the 3 voids and 1 sacred to round it out. And it's going to end at a 2.36. So a 1.34, probably like a 1.5, and then over a 2. So I would say anybody who's approaching like the mid tier for spending in raid, this might be worth it, but it's going to be expensive. It's going to be like 25. Yes, I mean, it is going to be a little bit towards the expensive side, but in terms of what we typically see in shop, it's going to grade out pretty decent versus the other stuff we get offered. So that's going to depend on you and your situation, but this might be the best thing that we see for the next week or two, I would probably guess. And I also didn't show the tournaments tab, but tomorrow we've got the normal classic arena takedown stuff. So make sure you're doing your battles this weekend in the arena, and then we'll have an ice golem tournament going live as well. So for today, the priority is make sure you are not having your game freeze. Look at this. What's going on here? Is this gonna snap out of it? I know we've had a lot of maintenance breaks lately in raid, but no, my raid just blew up here live on video. So okay. So let's restart the game, and I don't remember what I was saying, but yeah, anyway, I guess, you know, make sure you're doing your arena fights this weekend, and also, if you're pulling shards for the summon rush and all that, good luck. I hope you're able to proc the 10x and get the Supreme Aethel if you are chasing her, and good luck if you're going after the fragments for Supreme Elhain. Remember to upgrade some artifacts as well, because that event was live and all of that. So it's going to be a busy weekend for me. I know the Diablo 4 closed beta is is going to be live this weekend. So if you want to hang out over on Twitch, I'm going to be playing the closed beta and trying to play the different heroes and theorycraft with some other content creators and crank out some guides over on the Diablo channel. So I'll be playing a lot of that this weekend. And yeah, that's gonna, I don't even know if I can get into raid right now. Okay, so looks like raid is down as of me ending this video. So if you're experiencing some of this stuff, I am too as well. And we'll have to see if Plarium says anything from their end. I don't see an announcement as of right now, but okay. I appreciate all of you. Remember to subscribe. I've never ended a video like this. This is interesting, but yeah. Anyway, remember to subscribe on your way out if you enjoy daily raid Shadow Legends content when we can play at least. And I appreciate you. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you soon. Peace.